Activity Quest, the podcast that's packed with stuff to do. In this week's episode, Adam's visiting the National Gallery in London to wander around the Roden Centre for creative learning. Plus, we're going to be looking at the big butterfly count, which is happening right now. My name's Bex. Every week we go up and down the country on the quest for something epic. This week, Adam's exploring one of the country's top galleries. He's at the National Gallery. It's just off Trafalgar Square in the middle of London, and he's going to explore a brand new area we think you'll love.
Hey there, it's Adam from Fun Kids here, and I am about to head to somewhere very special. It's the National Gallery. It's just off Trafalgar Square in central London, and I am going on a mission. And to help me is somebody equally special. Their name is Ed.
Hi, I'm Ed. I'm a gallery educator here at the National Gallery, so I'm basically a teacher, and I work with all sorts of different audiences. I spend every day working with kids, helping them make art, understand the paintings, find out all sorts of secrets.
Now, we're visiting a very unique part of the National Gallery. It's the Roden Centre for Creative Learning. Ed explains a little bit more about it.
Yeah, so this is a very special place that is built especially for kids, by kids. It's designed for being a place that you can come in. We're right at the back of the gallery, and this is your space where you've got places you can relax, you've got places you can make things, we've got fun little games you can do, and we're going to have all sorts of activities running throughout summer, especially for you.
I'm not just here to look around. I'm here on a mission. There's someone mysterious hiding here, a magical figure who knows everything about art, colours and creativity. They're called the Keeper of Paintings. I've got my phone in my hand, and rumour has it, if you're curious, clever and ready to get creative, you might just find them. So join me as I explore the gallery's vibrant Roden Centre for Creative Learning. Are you ready? Let's go inside. Okay, so I'm walking through the entrance, and immediately this place is amazing. There is paint, there are paint boxes, I can see some dress-up costumes, there's even giant colourful lockers. I wonder if anyone has seen the Keeper of Paintings. Ed, what is that you're making over there?
Hi Adam, yeah, we're building some amazing structures. We've got castles, we've got houses, we've got fantastical things that are inspired by the paintings in the gallery, which you can make. But that's not the only thing. Families can drop in, we can get hands-on with loads of free activities. There's something for everyone.
There's art absolutely everywhere. Talk to me about some of the things that we're seeing here.
Well, here we got something very special because this is based on some of the art we got in the gallery, but this is made by school children, because it's part of our Take One Picture exhibition. We run Take One Picture every year, where we choose one painting from the gallery and we invite thousands of children around the country to respond to it and create whatever they want. And this one is all based on a Dutch artist called Pieter de Hoog, and it shows a quiet little courtyard in the 1600s. And the things that people have made are amazing. We've had everything from willow sculptures, cardboard houses, clay tiles. People have even baked apple pies based on this picture.
I can see a clock tower. I can see a church.
Yeah.
This is all incredible, but there is still no sign of the keeper, so let's keep looking. I think there might be somebody else that can give me a bit of a helping hand. For as long as there have been humans, there have been keepers. They're immortal, magical beings who exist just outside the normal realms of time and space. Their role is to be caretakers and custodians of our world and the most wondrous things in it. The Keeper of Paintings is one such being, guardian of the National Gallery's collection, tasked with using their powers to preserve the magical essence of art and culture through the ages for every generation. Unfortunately, the keeper can't always stop things from going wrong, and they often find themselves in need of help from young keepers in training.
Hi, I'm Jo. I'm an artist and educator here at the National Gallery. So I work with young people right up to adults. We do workshops, we do looking at paintings, analysing the paintings, and generally just having fun and being creative.
Jo, I'm on a bit of a quest. I'm looking for the keeper of paintings. Do you have any clues for me?
Do you know what? I do. You're not the only one on a quest. Some children here are playing the Keeper of Paintings, which is an augmented reality game. It's a bit like digital hide and seek.
Nice! This seems like a really fun way to explore.
You're absolutely right. And while you're here, up here we've got our social space, and this is the perfect place to relax and recharge, and maybe even enjoy a packed lunch, because I know children are always hungry. But creativity is never too far away. So you see some families here, they're enjoying sketching, others are working together building dens. I mean, there's plenty to do all summer long.
So that means you can paint, build, dress up, play, explore an exhibition and go on an immersive adventure at the National Gallery this summer. And best of all, it's all free. Now, I've been on a little quest with my phone to hunt for the keeper of paintings. I've not had much luck. But maybe that's the point. Because the real magic, well, it could just be what you create whilst you're here. Get creative this summer holiday with the free Summer of Art at the National Gallery. All activities are free with no booking needed. Join us at the Roden Centre for Creative Learning, National Gallery, Trafalgar Square. Just search National Gallery Free Summer of Art to find out more.
OK, from galleries to butterflies, Adam's been busy this week. He's also been checking out the big butterfly count. It started on Friday, the 18th of July, and as the name suggests, it's got something to do with counting butterflies. It's a massive survey that you can do wherever you are, and it checks out how well butterflies and moths are doing in your local area. Now, all of the data is super important, and it paints a picture of how happy and healthy butterflies are nationwide. Sadly, last year, we recorded some of the lowest numbers ever, leading to a butterfly emergency. So, all you need is 15 minutes. And to find out more, Adam spoke with Dr. Dan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Dan Hoare. I'm Director of Nature Recovery at Butterfly Conservation. So at Butterfly Conservation, we are working really hard to conserve butterflies, moths in our environment, to make them accessible to people, to give people opportunities to get out and celebrate and enjoy these incredible creatures. And I'm really lucky to lead a team who work right across the UK, getting their hands dirty on the ground, trying to make things better for rare species and provide loads of opportunities for people to get involved in active conservation projects. Yeah, so the big butterfly count, you're right, is one of our, it's one of the most exciting parts of the year for us. Obviously, you see more butterflies in summer. They are heat-loving insects, so they come out in the summer. And we time our big butterfly count, which is a big, it's like a citizen science project, but it's also a celebration of butterflies and a chance for people to get involved. And we time that with kind of the time of year when the peak number of butterflies are around and people have got a bit of time on their hands to get involved. So this year, the big butterfly count runs from the 18th of July through to the 10th of August. And people can get involved at any point in that. It's just a 15-minute count. You don't have to take part in the whole thing, but you can do multiple counts right through that 3-week period. You can do a single count, or you can just get involved and go out every day looking for butterflies. How much you get involved is totally up to you.
It's those first few weeks of the summer holidays then. What do we need to do? So we're going to go outside, we're going to look at butterflies for 15 minutes. Do I need to write them down? Do I need to remember them? Do I need to draw them? How do we keep count?
Yeah, it's dead easy to get involved. So you can visit bigbutterflycount.org, or you can just search butterfly count, or you can download the free app to sign up and grab your digital butterfly ID guide. So that will help you identify some of the common species you might see in your garden or your local park. Then you just need to spend 15 minutes in a sunny spot outside and count how many butterflies and someday flying moths that you see. You can submit as many counts as you like during the count period. You can go on the website and track live data. You can use the app to see your results appear on a map straight away. You can see what your neighbours and friends have been doing. You can zoom in and find out where the butterflies are across the country. So it's really easy to get involved, really interactive, and it does get a little bit addictive. So I tend to start off with 1 or 2 counts and then start logging everything I see.
Butterflies are amazing creatures. They're pollinators, first of all. And we know at the moment, though, that they're going through a bit of a tough time. I think we know that from previous butterfly counts. What's some of this sort of information and data? Why are we doing this? What's it for?
Yeah, so the origin of the Big Butterfly Count was really to try and get people involved in helping us kind of take the pulse of nature, find out how the environment's doing. And we have lots of volunteers who get involved in butterfly conservation's work. They might go out on a nature reserve and count butterflies on a regular basis. And that gives us these incredible data sets which tell us whether species are increasing or decreasing. They're moving north in response to climate change. They're these brilliant indicators of the health of our environment. But actually, it can be quite hard for us to get data from urban environments, for places where people live and work. There's not many nature reserves there. It's not something where you would think of as necessarily going out to spot wildlife. But it's really important to understand how butterflies are doing in our towns and cities, as well as just on our nature reserves or on our mountaintops. So every year we do this survey. Last year's Big Butterfly Count was the worst on record in terms of butterfly numbers. So butterfly numbers do go up and down each year, depending on the weather. If you get a prolonged spell of rain during the count, that's obviously going to impact numbers. But actually, over 14 years, 2024 was the worst on record. So that gives us real cause for concern. We declared a butterfly emergency when we fully processed last year's data because we were so concerned that butterflies are declining for all sorts of reasons, but we need to do more about it. So our response to that is that this year we want people to get involved in a butterfly rescue mission. This is not just a citizen science project. It's really a rescue mission to work out what's the long-term impact of a bad year like last year. Where do we need to put our efforts? How some butterflies will probably have been able to bounce back from a wet year, some won't. So people getting involved really helps us plan our conservation response and plan the action needed to build a brighter future for nature.
We obviously want to see how they're doing across the country, sort of as they are at the moment. Are there any kind of tips and tricks that you've got to attract butterflies to our area? Is that something that we should do in the run-up to something like this? Do we want to see the numbers before we make any changes? What's the best course of action?
Yeah, well, you definitely don't need to do any prep. You know, the Big Butterfly Count is really easy to get involved with, and it's just a snapshot of the way things are. So there's no pressure to kind of prepare in advance or try and attract things in. But we provide lots of information through the Butterfly Conservation website on plants that people can put into their gardens or projects that you can get involved with in your local community. If you don't have a garden, you can still get involved in a local community park, for example. Or you can contact your council about things they can do because they're responsible for a lot of the environment in the local area. And all of those things are good long-term things. I suppose if you know your garden is looking a little bit tired, maybe it's been so hot and sunny that some of your plants are looking a bit tired, then this might be a perfect time to invest in a couple of pots of attractive flowers that will give you something to watch while you're hoping for the butterflies to zoom in. But really, we want to record the state of things the way they are.
Butterflies obviously make up a big part of the Big Butterfly Count. We're also looking, though, for day-flying moths. First of all, what's the difference between a moth and a day-flying moth?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the very kind of sentence day-flying moths is quite confusing to a lot of people. Like, the one thing we know about moths is surely they just fly at night, right? Butterflies and moths are very closely related. In fact, if you asked a kind of a scientific insect taxonomist, like working at the Natural History Museum, they basically say that butterflies are just a subset of moths. They're just a special family of moths who happen to come out in the daytime. And in other languages, some people don't distinguish between butterflies and moths at all. They just use the same word for both types of insects. But generally speaking, moths are much more diverse than butterflies. We've got about 60 species of butterflies in the UK. We've got about 2,500 species of moths. So there's a lot more of them. They have all sorts of fascinating, interesting lifestyles. And from that really broad set of species, a couple of hundred of them don't actually fly commonly at night. They come out during the daytime. And those are what we call day-flying moths. Now, one or two of these will probably be familiar to people. So particularly the black and red moths that you might see. They're sort of a bit bigger than your thumbnail, maybe. Typically black with red spots or red stripes on. And there are a couple of species that people will see maybe in your local park or garden, which is probably something like the cinnabar moth. That's something you can easily look up. Cinnabar moth is this fantastic black and red moth that flutters around during the daytime, lays its eggs on the yellow flowers of ragwort, and it's got these caterpillars that are black and orange stripes, and people talk about them looking like football socks. These really, really brightly coloured black and orange stripes. There's another couple of species, the burnet moths, things like six-spot burnet, which are also black and red. Our ID guides can help you distinguish between those things. They're slightly scarcer, slightly less common, more typically found in some nice grassland than in your garden. But both of those types of moth are really conspicuous, and one of the reasons they can fly around during the day without being scared of predators is that they're packed full of poisons. So the reason they're black and red is because they're sending a warning signal, particularly to birds: don't bother eating me, I taste really bad, I'm full of poison. So there's amazing natural history stories as soon as you start digging into the lifestyles of lots of these moths.
Do you have a favourite moth? I think one of my favourites might be the mint moth. The name suggests you can find it on mint in your garden.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you have a favourite?
I do, yeah. So mint moth is it's a tiny little moth, probably the size of your little fingernail, tiny little moth that flutters around on your mint. Its caterpillars will eat the growing leaf tips of the mint, but they don't really interfere. So, I grow mint in my garden and use it in my cooking, but I also see the moths fluttering around there. That's a really beautiful little purple and gold moth. I think my absolute favourite of the day-flying moths has to be the hummingbird hawk moth. So every year we get inquiries from the public to say, oh my gosh, I've seen a hummingbird in my garden. Actually, it's a moth. It's a day-flying moth. It flies really, really fast. It hovers around just like a hummingbird, a bit smaller than you'd expect a bird to be, but it will hover in front of flowers like buddleia. I've got some valerian in my garden, nice pinky red flowers, and every year I get hummingbird hawk moths coming in and hovering in front of that, and it's an absolute highlight of my wildlife year to see that incredible thing.
Amazing. Dan, big butterfly count. If people want to get involved, if they want to find out more, what have they got to do?
So, dead easy to get involved. Search Big Butterfly Count, go to the Butterfly Conservation website, or download the Big Butterfly Count app, which is free. All of those are great ways to get involved. You download your free digital ID guide, and then take part wherever you can.
Thank you very much to Adam and Dan. You can find out for more by searching for Big Butterfly Count. That's pretty much all the time I've got in this week's episode. I'm Bex, and this has been a podcast from the UK's children's radio station, Fun Kids. Listen to me on your DAB digital radio, online, on the free Fun Kids mobile app, and on your smart speaker. Just say, play Fun Kids every weekday from 4 p.m. See you soon.